Success Conference in New York City, where Manhattan's most successful speak. Today I am privileged and honored to welcome entrepreneur and author, Mr. André Taylor. Now, I'm a big fan of Andre's book, You Can Still Win. Andre is a winning and leadership expert, and today he's going to join us to talk to us and give us some insights about winning. I asked Andre about winning, especially winning in these challenging economic times. Let's listen in.
Kerry, I think that's a really good question, because the tendency right now is to really think about all of the difficulty that companies are going through. It is a very, very trying time. I don't think I've ever seen a time like this before, and I've heard from people who have been in the business world for decades and they haven't seen this either. But I think, just like any other time, you've really got to think about winning. You know, the very definition of winning means that there's opposition, that it's going to be difficult, that there's going to be opposing forces. And what I try to tell organizations is that you can't really fixate on those problems. You've really got to focus on what is required to get the organization out of it. And so as corporate leaders, I think the key thing to be thinking about right now is how do we infuse our people with a sense of possibility, with a sense of success, with a sense that despite it being difficult, that as an organization we can still prevail, that we can still deliver quality service, quality products, that we can still innovate, that we can still service our clients in such a way that they'll come back to us and make our organization their choice. How do I empower my people? How do I make my people feel good about coming to work? How do I put this organization in a position where our culture realizes that despite tough times, that we can really succeed? I think more than anything, that's what corporate leaders have got to infuse in their people. First of all, I'm glad you put your finger on more sales, because that is something that as organizational leaders we have to always think about. How do we build the business? How do we keep the business growing in difficult times? I think one of the key things that has to be done right now is you've got to think about how you service your clients. Something like 80 to 90% of customers who engage with companies will say that they weren't happy with the service. This is an environment where you can't have customers walking away unhappy. We have to go overboard to service our clients. We have to also think about ways that we can not only push, in fact, I would say that we don't want to push our products on customers, but we want to service their needs. We want to bring value. And I think sometimes as corporate leaders we're so focused on corporate returns, quarterly returns, beating our net from the last quarter, that we forget about how important it is to really focus on that client and servicing that client in such a way where the impact and the relationship we have with that client is like none other. So I would say, if I had to sum it up, it would be to really focus our efforts, in a very, very dynamic way on how we can service our clients better. That is a great question, because a lot of corporate employees are feeling very nervous about the environment. They're feeling that their jobs are potentially in jeopardy. They're feeling that there are things going on in the corporate suite that aren't being shared down at their level. They're feeling quite vulnerable right now. And they're seeing their friends, their families, their colleagues getting laid off potentially, or not having the same kind of business that they used to have. And so I think as an organizational leader, it's really key to reassure people right now, and to bring people together, to understand what they're thinking, to be very candid with them about what's going on, in terms of the organization financially, and to help everyone realize that this is a collective effort. This isn't just something that happens at the senior level. This requires everyone at every level, from the mailroom up to the executive suite, to be focused on success. And when I say you can still win, that's what I'm really talking about. I'm really talking about leaving no room for failing and really looking at every aspect of the organization and finding ways to convince people that not only can we win, but we will win under these difficult circumstances. Any organization that has survived for any period of time has had some challenging times. And I think the most important thing right now is to say to your people, we care about you, we value you, we not only care about your job, we care about your future. You have a place in this organization, and together we can get out of this tough time. I think that the business press celebrates companies like Twitter and Google and those really huge successes that come about once every 20 to 50 years. And there can be this notion that if we're not doing something that is revolutionizing the world, that what we're doing isn't really very important. I would say that this is a time of getting back to old-fashioned values. This is a time of connecting with your customers in such a way where you know their names, you know their family. I don't think it's really that hard. I think it's really very simple. I think, unfortunately, we have been in an environment where everyone is trying to come up with a new thing. And you know, there was a song that used to say, everything old is new again. And I think that that's where we are right now. The companies that are breaking through, bouncing back, coming from behind, are companies that are returning to old-fashioned values. So if I were a staff member in a large organization, that's what I'd be looking for. How do we become a household name? How do we become the preferred supplier? How do we show so much support to our customers that they wouldn't think about doing business with anyone else? And I think that comes down to old-fashioned attention, old-fashioned innovation, old-fashioned service, and I think that that is the most important thing. I mean, I know it's a recurring theme in what I'm saying today, but I don't think it's any more difficult than that. I think it's getting back to old-fashioned values and helping everyone in the organization understand that that is important, that it is important to be a great company and to have values, to service your client, and to make that client happy that they're doing business with us. I think that will solve 80 to 90% of the challenge out there in getting new business and in servicing existing business.